The Sahara Desert, 3 in the afternoon. The surface temperature of the sand is 158 degrees Fahrenheit. There is no shade. There is no water. There is no mercy. And yet, something lives here. Not just survives. Lives. Hunts, raises young, builds a home. Down beneath the sand, in a world that most people never think about, an entire parallel existence is unfolding. Today, we are going inside it. We have attached a tiny camera to the back of a Saharan horned viper. And before you ask, yes, that is exactly as difficult as it sounds. She is roughly 18 inches long, the color of the sand itself, and she has 2 small, horn-like scales above her eyes that give her a permanent expression of mild irritation. Right now, that irritation is entirely justified. The camera weighs almost nothing. She barely notices it, and within moments of being set down on the sand, she begins to move. She does not walk. She sidewinds. Her body forms a series of S-curves that roll sideways across the surface, leaving a distinctive trail of parallel lines in the sand behind her. A signature so recognizable that trackers have read it for centuries. It is one of the most energy-efficient forms of locomotion ever evolved. In sand that would burn through the sole of a boot in minutes, she moves with complete ease. But she is not staying on the surface for long. She finds her spot, a patch of loose, fine sand at the base of a small rocky outcrop, and begins to submerge, not by digging, exactly. She vibrates. Her body oscillates in rapid lateral waves, and the sand simply receives her, grain by grain, the way water receives a stone. Within 40 seconds, she is completely invisible. Only her eyes and the tips of her horns remain above the surface, watching. This is called cratering. And it is one of the most remarkable survival techniques in the entire animal kingdom. Beneath the sand, the temperature drops dramatically. At a depth of just 4 inches, it is over 60 degrees cooler than the surface above. The snake has essentially built an air-conditioned shelter out of nothing. No tools, no materials, no effort beyond a few seconds of vibration. While the Sahara tries to kill everything above ground, she waits in perfect comfort below it. The camera shows us what no eye has ever seen from this angle: the underside of the desert. Grains of sand press against the lens from every direction. Thin threads of mineral catch the LED light and glitter faintly. A small beetle larva, pale and motionless, clings to a grain 3 inches away. The horned viper notices it. Her tongue flicks once, twice, tasting the air that exists even here, in the compressed darkness between grains of sand. She does not move, not yet. She is waiting for something larger. The horned viper is an ambush predator. She does not chase. She does not search. She selects her position with extraordinary care, submerges, and then becomes the most patient thing in the desert. She can remain buried and motionless for hours, sometimes for an entire day. Her metabolism slows to a rate that would kill most animals. Her heartbeat drops. Her body temperature matches the sand around her. She becomes, for all practical purposes, part of the desert floor. And the desert floor is full of information. Through her jaw, pressed flat against the packed sand, she reads vibrations. Every footstep above her registers as a distinct frequency. She can tell the difference between a lizard and a jerboa and a beetle from the pattern of vibrations alone. This is not instinct in any simple sense. This is a sensory system of extraordinary precision, refined over 60 million years of desert living. She feels something, small, fast, moving from left to right across the surface above her. She does not move yet. It stops. 3 inches to her right. A desert mouse, a fat sand mouse, has paused directly above her, sniffing at something on the surface. The viper's tongue flicks one final time beneath the sand, invisible, silent, confirming the chemical signature. Then she erupts. In a single explosive motion, she launches upward through the surface, sand flying in every direction, strikes in under a quarter of a second, and retreats back into her crater before the mouse has even registered what happened. The venom is hemotoxic and fast-acting. The mouse takes 4 steps and stops. She emerges fully now, tongue working rapidly, following the scent trail with calm efficiency. She swallows the mouse head first, her jaw unhinging in that slow, extraordinary way that never stops being remarkable no matter how many times you witness it. Her body barely bulges. The desert shows no evidence that any of this just happened. The sand has already smoothed itself flat in the wind. She will not need to eat again for 2 weeks. As the sun drops and the surface temperature finally begins to fall, she becomes more active. The Saharan horned viper is largely nocturnal. The brutal heat of the day demands the patience of burial. But the cool of the desert night belongs entirely to her. She moves across the sand with silent confidence, leaving her side-winding signature behind her in the moonlight. She finds a rocky crevice, deeper than her daytime crater, more permanent. This is a shelter she returns to regularly. The camera catches it in narrow detail, a wedge of darkness between 2 slabs of sandstone, barely wide enough for her body. Inside, the temperature is stable, protected from wind, from predators, from the brutal swing between Saharan day and night that can span 80 degrees within a single 24-hour cycle. A scorpion occupies one corner of the crevice. She investigates it briefly with her tongue, then ignores it. They have coexisted in this same crack in the rock for longer than either of them could register as time. In the Sahara, enemies are a luxury. Shelter is the priority. She coils. Her scales, each one a masterpiece of overlapping geometry, sand-colored and textured to break up her outline in any light, settle into a perfect resting spiral. Her eyes remain open. They will remain open all night. The horned viper does not close her eyes. She has no eyelids. She sees the world without interruption, from the moment she is born until the moment she dies. Somewhere above the crevice, the Sahara wind moves across 3 million square miles of sand and rock, rearranging the surface of the earth 1 grain at a time. Stars appear in numbers that no city dweller has ever seen. The temperature drops toward 40 degrees Fahrenheit, a 60-degree plunge from the afternoon peak. She feels none of it. Down in the rock, she is constant, stable, ancient. The horned viper has been living in the Sahara for longer than the Sahara has looked the way it looks today. She was here when this desert was grassland. She will be here long after we are gone. The camera light dims slowly as she settles deeper into rest. The last image it captures is the narrow entrance to the crevice, a sliver of moonlit sand, and beyond it, the vast, indifferent dark of the oldest desert on Earth. She does not know she was filmed. She does not know you watched her hunt and bury herself and wait with a patience that makes our own seem almost embarrassing. She only knows the sand, the heat, the vibration of something moving above her, and the perfect, engineered stillness of the world beneath. Tomorrow, without hesitation, without doubt, she will do it all again. A snake just took you underground in the middle of the Sahara, and you watched the whole thing. so you might as well hit subscribe. There is a lot more desert left to explore.